Go ahead.
Meeting called to order. Today is Tuesday, June 19th. It is now 7:47 p.m. Town Council meeting in Town Council Chambers, 1170 Main Street, West Warwick, Rhode Island.
Councilman Licciardi?
Here.
Councilman Messier?
Here.
Councilman Padula?
Here.
Council Vice President D'Amico?
Here.
Council President Goslin?
Here.
There is a quorum. Minutes of the previous meeting resolved as the minutes of the June 5th, 2018 executive session and the June 5th, 2018 Town Council meeting are hereby approved.
Move the resolution. Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Reports, Town Manager's report.
Yes, good evening. I have two items to discuss. First is a update and a request. This is regarding to the fire chief recruitment. 29 resumes, applications were received, 6 were interviewed, and I'm narrowing it down to a very short list. Under the charter, the council has the authority to make the appointment of fire chief upon the recommendation of the town manager. What my request would be is to have a meeting, hopefully next week, an executive session to go over the finalists that I have that are very capable and qualified for the position and discuss those individuals with the council. Again, the council has the responsibility to approve the recommendation, and I want to make sure that the council is in agreement with mine rather than maybe recommending someone that the council may not find, approve of. So considering the importance of the position, I would like to have that meeting and go over the top candidates with the town council.
We talked about this. Can we do this on Monday night? I'm going to be away the rest of that week.
Whenever
I don't
the
know if that works
council
for
does.
anybody. I don't know if that works for
I'm gonna
anybody.
be away Monday, Tuesday. I'm away all next week.
Okay, so I guess
That's the problem in July.
Well, it's only June.
it's close. It's close enough though. It's
Yeah, well,
that.
you're going into
No, I know.
July.
I'm all for it, just on a different date.
The following week you lead into, I believe it's the Monday the 2nd. of
Any
June.
Monday or Tuesday, I'm available.
Monday, July 2nd. Does that work for the rest of the council? You?
No.
I'm going to Florida.
Back a day early.
I'll be back by the 4th.
That's no good.
I mean, you guys can still move forward.
Well, it's not fair that somebody's not going to be here. This is an important role in the town. Well, he's going till the 4th,
And I'm
and I know I'm in Delaware and New Hampshire, so 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
I know I'm in Oneyville.
Well,
I'm only going for softball reasons, so.
I save my money for my taxes.
Could we go home and look at schedules and
Get back to you.
get back
yes,
to
it would be up to the
tomorrow?
council. The goal would be is to make the appointment on July 17th so that the candidate would be, once we meet with the council and determine the top candidate, then I would meet with that person and discuss, the things of appointment, salary, benefits, those type of things.
the chief retires on
And then
what, the
if,
6th
well,
or
the
7th?
thing is that the chief has been very gracious, allowing us to stay on until a replacement comes on. However, he has certain time restrictions and commitments. But if we can make the appointment on the 17th, then that would give some time for an applicant to give notice and start.
So we can meet anytime after July 4th. That wouldn't be a problem.
What's your deadline, for us?
Well, I would say whenever, as soon as the council as a group could meet, whenever that could be, because if the 17th is on a Tuesday, then the agenda would have to be finalized by the 11th and 12th. So I would have to need some time to speak with the top candidate, and if there was an issue, then another candidate, so. But the candidates are very interested in the position, so I'm
leaving
assuming
Thursday.
if offered, they would
Unless
accept.
it's in the morning. I don't know if anybody can make a morning meeting or something.
No, I can't.
When do you return, David?
I'll be in Oneyville.
I
Can we get back to you
fifth,
tomorrow
sixth.
with
Oh,
schedule?
yeah, it's up
We
to the
can,
council's
instead of doing it
discretion,
tonight.
but yes.
I'm available every time except for the 5th and 6th. That's it, and the 4th. So whatever you guys decide.
So we're looking at like the week of Monday the 9th. At some point that week, then we should try to see our schedules around that week that we can look through, just so we
I
kind
can
of.
meet some afternoon.
I'll be available. Yeah, I'll be available. in the afternoon.
That's totally fine.
Afternoon, night, whatever the majority can be.
Do you know offhand the
No.
Monday the 9th?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'll get back to you.
No, I'm saying,
You don't know.
All right, we'll get
but
back.
that week anyway. Let's.
All right, well, let's put an email out tomorrow and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Good idea.
I'll put it in there.
All right.
So we have a baseline and know where to go, you know?
Again, the second item, also personnel related, the closing date for the Director of Public Works position was on the 15th of June. There were 9 applicants, so I'm reviewing those, and I'll be scheduling interviews for those, that position as well.
Can we meet on the same day for both?
Well, it just closed, so potentially if the council wanted to do that for a director, we can maybe shoot for that if I can. Again, they just closed, have to review the applications, do some a little, background
How about
checks.
July 9th? Would that be?
What's that on?
It's a Monday.
Yeah, well, July 9th, then that would give me 3 days or so to do what I have to do.
That'd be
So,
good with me.
yeah, that would work. We'll make it work.
What time?
We can figure that out.
Yeah.
All right.
If you want to come in earlier, we can come in earlier.
I'm
Yes,
available
yes.
anytime from 2 o'clock on.
I'm off for work that day, so. What day is that? July 9th.
It's a
What
Monday.
day?
Monday. It's
Monday.
a Monday.
I don't care, whatever the majority of council can go.
Finance report?
Wait a minute, I'm not done.
I'm sorry.
Any questions for the manager?
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak a few things in, seeing we're not, meeting till the middle of July. I have some urgent things here under the manager's report. I got a call about 17 Tanglewood Drive. I don't know who's gonna address this. They have a group home there, and all the years it's been there, they never had a problem. But now they're disrupting to the neighborhood, parking, loud music. I guess the staff, they switched staff from what I can understand. Ernie, can we see who we could send up there to speak to them, or whoever's in charge of that group home? The
Yeah.
quality of life there in that neighborhood, and that's a quiet neighborhood. I never get a call from anyone up there, and this has been a constant problem for the past 4 months.
Okay,
It's 17 Tanglewood.
all right.
2 other problems, I've been getting calls from the condo association on Providence Street going into Cranston. The state put barriers on the bridge when they were called, and I haven't spoken to anyone on DOT. They said that bridge is not due to get repaired until 2024 or 22. I mean, they just did the same thing to the Natick Bridge going into East Avenue, which was a brand-new bridge. Can we find out why they're there and if they can be removed? Because it is an eyesore. It blocks pedestrians from going. It's narrowing down. The roads are narrow enough. The other thing is, I talked to Freddie, and I just got texted now because they're watching live, 9 Petty Drive. There's been garbage there. He called for an appointment. It's been there for over a month. Last time he did this, he got written up because they didn't pick him up. He don't want to get that again. And there's a sign on Lafayette Street that's hanging down. It's going to hurt someone. So if someone can look at that. And one other thing, I just want a complete amount of the road bond money I have, because in Ward 1, all the roads, if anyone has noticed, are mostly all brand new between the Kent County Water and my road bond money. Twice, there's probably 1 or 2 roads that really don't need it, but I have over $100,000, last thing I knew. I want to know because I have a couple of roads in mind. Or if anyone from Ward 1 has any other information on a road that I didn't see, but I travel most of the roads in Ward 1 and they're A1 shape. So I snuck that in, and thank you.
I'd like to sneak one thing in too. I just wanted to let everybody know that West Warwick today was one of 25 cities and towns that were awarded a Governor's Overdose Prevention Leadership Grant of $5,000, which is going to help with the education and awareness of the overdose epidemic. Detective Matt Veltrami, Behavioral Health Navigator, Health Seeker, and Susan Jacobson of the West Warwick Health Equity Zone were all honored today. Governor Raimondo was there. I was down there at the Crown Plaza, so this is awesome. And later this summer, they're going to be giving us an update of how they're going to be utilizing this grant, but this is really something that was awesome, so just want to commend them for the great work they did.
And Freddie, one thing, that berm, don't forget that berm because the water's gushing in that person's property.
Jay, do you have anything?
Yeah, I have a couple. One, Freddie, thank you for fixing the end of Revere. As you go down in Ward 4, as you go down the hill, there's just these two massive bumps that your car hits every time. And we've been going back and forth with this, but it's finally asphalted. It drives nice, it's beautiful. Thank you very much to DPW. And for those of you who are watching or here that live on Edge Street in Ward 4, it's the only street, it is strange that the water company didn't do when they did the whole plat. And it wasn't part of that, which it's a very small street, but I'm going to be using some road bond money. And I spoke with you, Chris, and we're still looking at exactly how much is left. But Edge Street will be done. I will be notifying you as soon as the company notifies Freddie, and he'll notify me, so it'll be a chain. And another thing in Ward 4, it came to me a few times, but most recently earlier in this week, about issues as far as, be specific, Pulaski Street. There's some overgrowth of grass, weeds as you first turn onto Pulaski Street. That is being addressed. And as you go up the street, we just went right up. I don't have too much information on this, but as you pass by Dreamland Daycare, they had taken down a lot of their playground, and it's just laying there. They will be asked to remove that. I just talked to Pam this morning. Someone had bought the facility, bought the building right next door. The reason why that playground was taken down is because that company now has to have access to getting in there. And that playground was not on the Dreamland's property. So it is being addressed. It's not going to happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. But we're on it, and the town knows about it, so it'll be taken care of. And we're still working on that mattress that's been there, kind of tucked in the dumping zone with all new carpet and whatever else somebody took out of their home to remodel. So we need a camera. But that's in 2019.
I go one more. I know it's a late night. I don't know if this is for the chief or Freddie. There was a stop sign. I just got this letter on Prospect Hill Avenue coming from Lancelota. Tripoli Street runs down and the cars just shoot out of there, and there's all kids. That stop sign's got to be put back. And caution signs for the children was also taken down when they built that condo, and they never were put up again when they repaved the roads. Why they took them down, I have no way, but I don't know if Freddie, you can replace that stop sign on the right-hand side coming from Lancelota onto Prospect Hill Ave to when Tripoli Street comes down. That needs some kind of stop sign. That's an accident waiting to happen. I promise I'm done.
Mr. Manager, I only have two things. Ocean State Credit Union, they adopted a spot, which was Phoenix Square. Well, it used to be Coventry Credit Union, and ever since Ocean State took over, they removed their sign, and really somebody's been going down and cutting it every once in a great while. But I have some local businesses that are down in the Phoenix area that are willing to take that island over, including myself and Local Realty and Phoenix Square Diner. And we've been reaching out. I know Tony Duffy's been trying to contact Ocean State Credit Union to make sure that they're still adopting the spot. If not, we'd like to somebody readopt it.
Okay.
Or the town take it back over, because it is high grass, it gets cut once a month, and it's not looking pretty. The other thing I have is the whole, the Phoenix Brook, which goes from Wakefield Street to Main Street. I know over the winter we had one flood there. It was due to a mattress coming down the pipe. We come up with some solutions to prevent it from flooding, and this fix, and I know I spoke to Freddie, we talked about putting rebar in further back towards Wakefield Street to prevent any large items to be stopped right there instead of going all the way down and blocking the 4-foot hole between Max Bowlaway. I'm just wondering how much longer, because this isn't a $500,000 expense. This is a lot of manual labor. Cleaning the brook, are we able to clean the brook, the town? Because we were supposed to get some response from DM on that. I haven't heard anything yet. And when are we gonna install the rebar to prevent the flooding from those neighbors over there? That's the only thing I'm looking for answers on.
I have one question for Ernie.
And Jay just came back with a rebuttal.
We had talked about, I'm getting a lot of questions on drainage. And I know we had talked about a month ago at our sewer meeting regarding a plan for, and I talked to Freddie about this too. I just haven't talked to him lately, about the drains being jetted, being taken care of, so we have the flow. Is there a schedule for that?
I saw Truex going through the town.
Me too. But is there a,
Truex is in town, but is there a schedule?
is there a schedule in place?
Come on up.
Yeah, there's 4 trucks at Truex. They're in Ward 5 right now. So they're
Working their way right down and doing
Yeah.
every ward.
every ward,
In every drain?
every drain.
Thank you.
Do you know the completion date?
I don't. There's 1,300 drains,
So it'll take
if
a
not
little bit.
more. So it's gonna be a while. But then any ones that have to be rebuilt, they let us know. And other ones that have to be routed, they gotta get the other truck in. They gotta
Are
route it out.
Do you think, will they be able to complete this year, or is this
Yeah,
gonna be an
they do it every year.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Any other questions for the manager? Thank you.
We might as well just have a word before the meeting, we can steal his time anyway.
Finance report.
Good evening, councilors. Before you is the monthly finance report. You can see that current year tax collections are looking good. They're at 98.02% of the current budget, and that's as of May 31st. Prior year collections are definitely coming in better than we anticipated. Where we had thought we would see a $500,000 shortfall, it looks like more like a $250,000, which is very good. Overall expenditures are still trending below target at 85.4%. The bills are being printed this week, and they are going in the mail probably mid to late next week. They should be in the mail by June 28th. I have the new rates.
Thank you.
So that's the certified roll and the new tax rates. You can see that our real estate and personal property values held pretty steady. They increased by 0.32%. And what we originally projected with the 3.3% increase is exactly where we landed. And the other thing I wanted to mention, the auditors are coming in next week, so we'll start wrapping up the fiscal year and start getting that rolling. And we did sell another $20,000 in energy credits to go into the energy fund. So that was a positive thing. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Kristen? Thank you.
Thank you.
Consent agenda, license applications. Resolved that the consent agenda having been posted, all matters being referred to proper departments and being disposed of or awaiting recommendation, the same is hereby approved.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Those licenses that were just approved. College Pro Painters, Christopher Ring, Sky Lawn Care, Perla Salon, Dr. Daycare, God's Hands, Unique Fitness, Forever Fit, Gobert Enterprises, Advance Auto, Shahid 3 LLC, car show license for West Warwick Elks Lodge, raffle license Crompton Vet Organization, West Warwick Elks Lodge for the raffle, and all pistol and revolver licenses.
Consent agenda correspondence. Resolved that the consent agenda having been posted, all matters being referred to proper departments and being disposed of or awaiting recommendation, the same is hereby approved.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Amplifier, loudspeaker, and theatrical performances, shows, exhibitions, license. Christopher,
Marandola.
hold on, let's see. Resolved that the town council hereby approves the following application. Christopher J. Marandola, August 18th, 2018, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., 15 Coit Avenue.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? Any public discussion? Chris, you're here. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Enjoy your party, Chris.
Amplifier, loudspeaker. Resolved that the town council hereby approves the following application. Crompton Vets, Ed Furtado, August 18th, 2018, noon till 10 p.m., 37 Heffern Street.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Amplifier, loudspeaker. Resolved that the town council hereby approves the following application. West Warwick Elks Lodge, Robert Polino, June 30th, 2018, and August 4th, 2018, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 60 Clyde Street.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Amplifier, loudspeaker. Resolved that the town council hereby approves the following application. Mike Antonucci, DBA XWA Entertainment LLC, July 15th, 2018, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., West Warwick Civic Center, 100 Factory Street.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
The following event was canceled.
Which one's that?
Michael Hopkins,
Okay.
we're no longer having event. Michael Hopkins, June 30th. Remove that from the agenda.
Just
No
take
action.
no action. Move on.
No action, okay. Town council acting as liquor commission. Transfer of Class B victualler liquor license. Resolved that the following application for a transfer of Class B victualler liquor license having advertised in accordance with law for hearing on this date, no remonstrance or objectors present, the same is hereby approved.
I'll move the resolution.
A second.
What, should I read?
Huh?
I didn't read from and to.
All right, bring it back.
What's
From.
that?
I withdraw my movement.
I have
She didn't
from.
finish. I'm way ahead of her. I'm trying to get out back to Oneyville.
From M&A 3 Inc., DBA All Stars Restaurant, 49 Providence Street, to Westcott House Inc., 49 Providence Street.
Now I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I gotta ask you about Louisville later. I don't know.
It's all I can afford to go.
Oh, stop it. All right, so there's a couple of things. I spoke to the owner, Tony. He'd like to come up and speak, first of all. Second, this is in contingents of their closing. There's two things that need to be paid, tax bill and a vendor bill. The vendor bill is up of $2,800, and the tax bill is 40-something hundred. That's to be taken care of at the closing. Rose, do you have the exact tax dollar amount?
Well, I know it's 4,600 some odd, I don't have the exact.
4,600 change. Okay. Tony, you still here?
Yes, sir.
Come on up if you want to say a few words.
I just wanted to thank the board members, the town officials, its residents for allowing me to run my business for 6 years in your town. It was a good experience, and I want to thank everyone for it. I wish David and his family good luck in his new home at 49 Providence Street. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks. No more karaoke for me over there, Tony.
No more
You gonna have karaoke, Dave, over there? You gonna have karaoke?
And again, everybody knows Westcott House, where it is. It's been there for many years, over 20. 31.
In 1988, right?
Unfortunately, he's been asked to leave that facility because the gas station wants to expand. He took the opportunity to take his business and expand it, and you're going to use the same type of method you have going on in Coventry.
Exactly.
So everybody who says it's tough to get in and out of Westcott House, you should have no problem with parking now. Any other comment?
Yeah, people have been asking, is there like an ETA of when you're expecting to?
Probably late November, December.
Awesome.
By the end of the year.
Thanks.
Can I ask one question? Do you have a closing date?
We're gonna have the closing date.
They just need you.
Why
I
don't
need
you
you to
get-
come up to the
Yeah,
microphone.
sure.
Just identify it.
Just identify yourself.
Sorry.
That's okay.
George Luff on behalf of the applicant, Westcott House. We anticipate that the closing is going to happen about 20 days after action on the liquor license.
You know, we don't let too many people leave out of Ward 1,
That's not-
so I don't know, I might have a problem.
But,
Johnny's
you don't-
shaking his head.
You don't see a problem paying off those two debts?
No, I think that they're going to be line items right on the settlement statement. We would be adjusting the taxes as we would in the ordinary course and then
Okay, thank
clearing
you.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good luck to both of you.
It's approved contingent.
That's right. And again, any public comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And again, that was approved with contingency of those two line items.
Town council, acting as town council, additions and cancellations of taxes resolved with the attached additions in the amount of $89.40 and cancellations in the amount of $347.05 presented to the tax assessor for approval of the town council in accordance with Article 25, Section 5 of the West Warwick Code of Ordinances is hereby approved. The original list is on file in the office of the tax assessor.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Cancellation of taxes resolved that the attached cancellation in the amount of $667.10 presented to the tax collector for approval of the town council in accordance with Article 25, Section 5 of the West Warwick Code of Ordinances is hereby approved. The original list is on file in the office of the tax collector.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and second. Discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Fiscal year 2019 budget for the Civic Center Complex resolved that the attached is adopted as the Civic Center Complex budget for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2018 and ending June 30th, 2019 in the amount of $672,600 for operations, maintenance, and debt service.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and second. As I said before, I'd like to amend this to $685,400 due to the $12,800 from, actually, I'm sorry, it's gonna
No.
stay the same.
Yeah, because
You're gonna reduce the startup cost repayments from $35,000 to $22,400, or 200, I'm sorry, and move $12,800 into assistant director on the line. Any other comment on that? Any public comment? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Jay?
No.
Angelo?
No.
Jay?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Amendment to Article 12 of the collective bargaining agreement between the town of West Warwick and the International Brotherhood of Police Officers, Local 312, effective July 1, 2014 through June 30th, 2019, previously tabled.
I'll move to take it off the table for discussion.
Second.
Moved and seconded to move it off the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Now I need a motion to move.
No, I'll move the resolution or the ordinance,
Second.
the amendment.
Who amended this?
Well, it was an attachment. The resolution, as presented in the last meeting, did not have an attachment listed in the resolution. The attachment is the schedule of the changes in the police salaries.
That was the court order?
Well, this one is, again, July 1st, 2018 is going to be fiscal year 19, and that is the 5th year of our 5-year contracts for municipal employees. And in the contracts, FY, the 4th and 5th year, there were wage reopeners in those contracts. What this does is for the police department, for FY 19, their wage reopener, we have negotiated an agreement that the wage reopener would be 2.25% starting July 1st of 2018. And this agreement has been ratified by the police membership. Funds are available in the FY19 municipal budget. So again, this is what we negotiated with the police union. So going forward, July 1st would be at 2.25%.
Any questions for Ernie? Any public comment? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Jay?
Yes.
Angelo?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
CWL O&M Solutions LLC proposal to perform an organizational review and business practices evaluation for the town of West Warwick's Department of Public Works, Parks and Recreation, and Civic Center. Resolved that the West Warwick Town Council authorizes and directs the town manager to sign the attached proposal from CWL O&M Solutions LLC in the amount of $29,700. Funding for this expenditure will come from the fiscal year 19 general fund budget. Services will provide an organizational review and evaluation of business practices of all operational, maintenance, and business practices associated with the town's DPW, Parks and Recreation, Civic Center, and related facilities.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
Yeah, I think this is a good, thing to start. We did it with the sewer plant. We're very happy. He came up with things from being an outsider that's seen things that made us more efficient. I think this is a win-win for the taxpayers, for the council, for the manager. I know, Ernie, you've seen the results at the sewer plant,
Yeah.
so if you want to say anything about it.
Yes, as a member of the sewer use committee, coming in, reviewing the drafts and the final product, I believe that the consultant that was hired did a great job analyzing where the sewer department was and the operations, practices, management, personnel, basically looked at the entire organization and gave a number of recommendations that could be changed immediately, some short-term, some long-term. There are some structural issues that need to be changed going forward with our new collective bargaining agreement. So I believe they did a very good job looking at the operations, and I believe it's a valuable tool that the sewer department is going to have restructuring their organization currently and then moving forward with some of the recommendations on a go-forward basis. So I think it was a very worthwhile project, which gave rise to the consideration and discussion of doing something like that on the town side. When you look at the town side, when you add the Department of Public Works, Recreation, and Civic Center together, It's a large department, number of employees, and if the same type of work can be done, which we believe it will, we know it will, because the same consultant is going to be doing it using the same methodology, looking for ways of how the departments are structured now, ways that it can be improved, and if it thinks that can be improved through business practice and review, can be changed immediately. If things need to be done in the future, they can identify those, can be a good framework for us as we go forward, resolving issues, whether it be collective bargaining in a new contract. So I believe it's going to be a very valuable study. It's going to provide a good roadmap for future review of those departments. And we just discussed earlier, the Civic Center. I mean, if you were to design the Civic Center today, what would it look like? How would it be structured? Again, part of this is looking at what is and what it needs to be, depending upon the goals that are set, and how do we get there. One of the very important features of the proposal is that the consultant will sit down and interview every employee with a series of questions, understanding the organization. So the employees will have input, and their input will be taken into consideration. They'll look at the practices, policies, procedures, practices, management structure of those entities to come up with the best solutions to issues that we have. And if things are doing well, then we continue to do well. If there's things that we can improve on, and we all do, we can improve on. And so that was the goal, looking at the model from the sewer department. I believe this would be a good fit for the town. Part of the scope of services is a dedication of 220 hours of review and research, and that's quite a bit of time that would be spent analyzing the operations and making recommendations. So I do believe it's a very worthwhile exercise. Again, we had funds budgeted under general consulting in the FY19 budget for this purpose, and a consultant is here, Charlie Lombardi is here to answer any questions the council may have about specific scope or what the expectations are, maybe of the council going forward. I would be working closely with Mr. Lombardi as this process goes forward, and again, it's something that I'm very positive about, and I hope the council feels the same way, that we can have some tools at our disposal that that is a practical document, not something theoretical, practical, that we can implement, and then if we can't, what are those obstacles, and we can look to resolving those obstacles. So with that, to answer any questions, or the consultant is here to answer any questions as well.
What are we looking for a timeline?
Through September, right?
Yeah, we wanted it done as soon as possible, but that is realistic. We're looking at September, July, August, September, an allocation of about 11-week project, about 20 hours a week is what the estimate is.
But I can tell you, working firsthand down that sewer plant, I know the hours that Mr. Lombardi put in, and every question that I had, and things that we didn't even see, and even the department heads, that he was straight, honest, right on the money, and the hours he put in was phenomenal. It's not like he's gonna say, oh, I'm only gonna do 20 hours, and that's it. It's not like that. He does it till the job's done. So I
Well,
can
No,
attest to
we all
that.
got the report.
Very detailed report. I read it a few times. And I was skeptical at first when we first introduced this, and I was wrong. I can admit it. I think Mr. Lombardi did an excellent job. He did answer all questions. But this is a time, I would say, for the employees to voice your opinion, voice your concerns. He's there to listen. And he'll put forth a very true report. And let's let him get started.
Yeah, we need to put some of the employees at ease, because I know I received a couple of comments when I was in the building.
It's not a witch hunt.
No, I understand.
It's not.
But we need to put them at ease. It's a chance for them to say what their job is,
Right.
job description, what they do, what they
What
can
make
see
it
can
would
improve.
What would make it easier?
How
can
can we
make it
improve?
easier. Exactly. So it also gives the employees that opportunity to share their feelings with a third party also.
And management as well. It's a comprehensive report and comprehensive dialogue.
again, I'm just stating that just to put some people at ease, because, again, walking
I
through
don't
town
know
hall.
why everybody's not at ease, because
If you're doing your job, you should have
nobody
nothing to worry
bothers
about.
you. Do your
Correct.
job.
You do your
Both of them
job,
Do their job. and
You do
there's
your
nothing to
job, you
worry
have no
about.
problems, exactly. So, any other questions? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Lombardi.
Bid number 2018-5, Shippey Avenue Flood Mitigation and Green Infrastructure Project. Resolved that the Town Council hereby approves bid number 2018-5, Shippey Avenue Flood Mitigation and Green Infrastructure Project to Party Corporation, 400 Lincoln Avenue, Warwick, Rhode Island, 02888, in the amount of $1,212,587. Said authorization to be approved as follows. 1. Base bid as described in the bid documents is hereby authorized in the amount of $724,087. Bid alternate phase 2 as described in the bid documents is hereby authorized in the amount of $488,500. Said authorization shall be contingent upon receipt of additional CDBG grant funding.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Moving second, discussion?
So, I know the residents of the Shippey Ave area have been like waiting for this for like decades. So I'm excited for them to have this project finally moving forward. This is not the same project that was on the table 2 years ago when Ed Giroux was here. They've totally rehauled the project. It's definitely more bang for your buck, to quote Mark Carullo. It is gonna happen. Phase 1 is essentially a 24-inch pipe, which will go from Plant Court down to LeChance Street. The reason the project hasn't started yet is because we could possibly be getting a CDGB grant for $500,000, and I think it's worth it to wait a little bit longer, because if we can get this grant, it's $500,000 more dollars. We've waited this long, but the project is going to go on either way if we don't get that grant. We're going to find out in August. Elaine, do we have an update of when? We still won't know until we get to that closer to that point.
No, in fact, I just got an email today. We have currently 700,000 ready to go.
Yeah, we have the 500,000 from my road bond money.
From your road bond, and 205,000 of CDBG DR money, which is already awarded and in place.
Yep.
So we applied for an additional 500,000 so that we could complete both sections of the project. But we cannot approve anything until we have an actual award. It's just a violation of
Absolutely,
the
yep.
guidelines. So that's why the resolution is written as it is. The project has been a very long project from the start date up until now. Part of the reason is we were awaiting the CDBG DR funds, and that was several months long of a project. Once we signed that contract in January of 2017, we started moving forward with paperwork and identifying easements, and through that process, after the former town manager left, we sat with Fuss and O'Neill and we re-looked at the project, and the whole thing had actually been redesigned to become a bigger and more effective and a better project. We actually have Mark Pereira here from Fuss and O'Neill if you have specific questions on the project itself. You know, there's been a lot of stuff being talked about. I don't personally do social media, but I'm getting a lot of calls of comments that are on social media that the project's not happening. The project is happening, okay? It's been a long project. It has been worked on from day one up until now, and this money is specifically earmarked for Shippey Ave. It wasn't taken from another project. It's not an in-house funding source. We don't have the money yet. It's the 2017 application, which was just submitted in May.
But we don't have the bid for the phase 2,
500,000.
yes.
The other money, the 205,000, was not earmarked for anything else and brought over to Shippey. It was applied for specifically for this project. So I just want to clear that up for anybody who was confused by that. And again, Mark is here from Fuss and O'Neill if you want to hear a little bit more about the project. He was nice enough to come tonight and give specifics if you have any questions.
And I did post it on social media. I'm gonna say it now. I'm also gonna go door to door in that area. I'm hoping Pete, so a lot of the neighbors already are aware of the community meeting on, it's gonna be Wednesday, July 11th at, I didn't write the time here, I believe it's 6 o'clock.
Here.
It's going to be, so if any of the residents have any questions about, when there's going to be road closures, what the details of what the project entails, the
Correct.
timetable, which now this is not a concrete number, but the estimated time of completion is somewhere around Halloween is the ETA.
We have to close out the project by the end of the year. It's part of the grant.
So it's good. Thank you very much. I know you guys put a lot of hard work into this, so I appreciate
Well,
it.
everybody has, and
Yeah.
the notice for the meeting is also on the town's website. We'll probably put out some flyers, maybe at some of the local businesses or the banks, because again, it's been a contentious.
It's been a long journey for them. So, I don't know if any of the residents have any questions. Pete's the only one I see here from that area, but if you want to come up, please.
That 500,000,
is that $500,000 guaranteed?
Which one?
The grant.
So no.
No, I know yours
No,
is.
no. My 500,000 from the road bond money is guaranteed,
Correct.
and so is the 200 and something thousand that was already from the
Correct.
disaster recovery funds. The other 500 is not guaranteed, and that's so that's not guaranteed. So phase 2.
So if that $500,000 doesn't,
It says contingent, so, phase
We'll be
2.
doing phase 1.
So phase 1 will be worked on, and why they're working on that, if that money comes in.
No, this is the thing. Phase 1 and 2 sometimes go hand in hand, which is why we can't start phase 1. There's certain things they can do to start phase 1, but there's a lot that they're going to go hand in hand, which is why we're waiting a little bit longer to do
So my
that.
next question would be, as we're starting this project, and I understand Pete's concern, and I believe everybody in the neighborhood is waiting for that to be fixed. I know every single one of us have a flood area that
Yeah.
needs to be fixed.
Concluded
But
that.
what happens is, you've got $720,000, and that 500 doesn't get awarded to us. Where's the 500? Are they gonna stop the project? What's
No.
gonna happen?
Phase 1 is,
We'll have
Yeah,
Mark
yeah.
speak to that.
but essentially, phase 1 is essentially, it's, the main portion of it is that 24-inch pipe, which will go from plant to LaChance. Mark can discuss
I
further.
just wanna make sure.
The project's going-
That
no.
we don't have a pipe sitting at the end of the plant.
No,
flooding
that's
everybody.
the reason for the delay right now.
no,
That's
that pipe that you're speaking of that's coming from Plant Court, that's just coming straight through. That doesn't come towards,
I'll let him
explain.
We do have at least 4 or 5 different easements, I believe, at this point, going through different properties. 5 easements.
So good afternoon, good evening. Mark Pereira from Fussin O'Neill. So the project, when we first originally looked at it, we had a ceiling of $700,000. So we went in and looked at what our best bang for our buck would be with that $700,000. So one of the improvements that we did was enlarge the pipe coming from Shippey all the way down to LaChance. There's an existing culvert on LaChance that moves water from the area there. So we're going to be increasing the size of that pipe from Shippey to LaChance to be larger, so it's going to move water away quicker. We're also going to include storage facilities in Shippey Ave that are going to store water and disperse it a little slower, so that we're essentially taking what's right now sitting on the ground during flood events and putting it underground, so kind of moving that there. The second phase of the project would just essentially be more storage units. So phase 1 operates by itself. Phase 2 is just increasing the storage capacity. So like I said, with the phase 1, we tried to maximize our bang for our buck with the 700,000, and then we had that additional 500, and the best way to have spent that was to expand the storage in Shippey.
So regardless, the project is going to happen. It will be complete by the end of this year. The question is, if we get that grant, we'll be able to have those extra storage basins. If not, we don't. But either way, the project's going to, there will still be significant relief to the residents, correct?
Yeah.
that 2-foot pipe that you're talking about, that stops on Shippey. It comes straight through. I'm off of that.
What?
So does that cover me?
Why don't you ask the gentleman right next to you?
Does that cover me?
What's your property?
I'm on Nowicki, on the corner of Nowicki and West.
Nowicki is the one right before LaChance, the one that comes across.
Before.
So, that pipe extends from Shippey to LaChance, so that's going to pass by your house. So that's essentially those catch basins that are around your house are tie into that pipe. So essentially, right now, that pipe is acting as a
There's an
constriction.
existing pipe that runs through my
Yeah.
property, so that's all gonna be corrected, correct?
So our,
Undersized pipe.
our work is in the road, so on West Street. But yeah, likely your pipe ties into that system, because there's no other system for it to tie into out there.
Well,
Okay.
thank you. Any other comment or questions?
I just want to mention at the meeting on July 11th, Mark Pereira and Dean Audette will be there from Fuss and O'Neill. They will have a presentation of the actual design and the plan that we'll put up on the screen for everybody to see where the actual project is happening. And then a representative from Cardi will also be there, obviously Mr. Messier and whoever's involved from the town side.
Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Fees and charges, building department sponsored by Council President Goslin. Let me read this.
I'll make a motion to waive the reading.
Second.
To waive the reading, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll
Opposed?
move the resolution.
Second.
Al?
The Rhode Island Building Code Commission periodically reviews all the fees that are to be charged by building officials throughout the state. They then send out a new fee schedule for every building office throughout the state. That was put into effect. It goes into effect here July 1st, and this is just to codify what the Building Commission has already said our building permit fees will be beginning July 1st.
Any questions for Al? Any public comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution approving bid award for purchase and installation of playground equipment for the new Factory Street Playground located at the West Warwick Civic Center, sponsored by Councilman Messier.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
It's another project that I had gotten emails that people thought was not going to happen. This one is definitely going to happen. It needs to be done by the end of the summer. The playground, for those that aren't familiar, is on Factory Street, right in the West Warwick Civic Center parking lot. It's with $47,500 from Ward 3 funds that was set aside previously by Councilman Giroux, and there's a $100,000 matching grant. The project, it is handicap accessible. I know I got some calls and questions about that. It is handicap accessible fully, and there will be a fence around the area. Those are a couple of the main concerns I got from some of the residents there. That's it. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that project, but from the council.
Any comment from the council? Any public comment? The only thing I have, we also got awarded, the Health and Equity Zone also got awarded that grant, so possibly maybe to piggyback on this for the playground down in River Point Park. The one that was there then was unsafe, so it was taken down and never replaced. So they're gonna be coming before us with that grant, hopefully soon. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Ordinance number 2018-16, as amended, first reading, sponsored by Council President Goslin, previously tabled, an ordinance amending Article 4 of the West Warwick Pension Plan for Police and Fire, and Article 4 of the West Warwick Pension Plan excluding police and fire.
I'll move to take it off the table.
Second.
Moved and seconded to take it off the table. All in favor?
Aye. I'll move the ordinance.
Second.
Al?
This was before you previously. Tim was contacted by, I believe, the attorney for the pension with some questions about the language that I had been given. He subsequently submitted the corrected language to me. This has been approved by the pension board and their attorney, so it's now back before you as amended with all the approvals necessary from the people involved in the pension. And so it's here for you as amended for your first reading.
Any questions for Al? Any public comment? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Jay?
Yes.
Angelo?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Ordinance number 2018-17, second reading, sponsored by Council President Goslin, previously tabled, an ordinance amending Chapter 10, Licenses and Business Regulations, Article 13, Tobacco Dealers License and Sales Restrictions of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of West Warwick.
Move to take it off the table.
Second?
Moved and seconded, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is,
I'll move the ordinance.
Second?
Moved and seconded?
this is the second reading at which last month you, the council, a couple of weeks ago, added the provision that it will go into effect 60 days after passage to give the merchants time to. And that is in what you have tonight, that the effective date.
And we changed names to articles, correct?
Yes,
I just-
that was done.
I was out of town last time. so I-
That was passed last time,
Okay.
and the only change was not a change in the ordinance, just a change in the effective date. So with that, it could go forward for second reading because the ordinance remains the same. It's just to give, the question was brought up at the last meeting about the time frame to give the merchants the opportunity to move these supplies.
Any comment from the council? I know there's public comment. Kim, did you comment with the student? I know Judy sent me an email. I read it late this afternoon. There was a poster she wanted to give me.
But I don't think that has to do with this.
Okay, just making sure.
I mean, it has to do with tobacco, but it has nothing to do with this.
All right, thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing none, roll call vote. Jay?
Yes.
Angelo?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Ordinance number 2018-19, second reading, and ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 8, Officers and Employees, Division 2, Pensions and Retirement, Section 2-231, Pension Benefits for Non-Union Employees of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of West Warwick.
Move the ordinance.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Discussion, Al?
It was called to my attention that the council had increased a pension from 5% to 7%, and this merely codifies what the council has already done.
Any questions for Al? Any public comment? Hearing none, roll call vote. Jay?
Yes.
Angelo?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
One last thing for the council, the code update is now complete.
Amen.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you, Al.
For now.
Appointments, reappointments. Appointment for the West Warwick Patuxent River Authority Board. Resolved that the Town Council hereby appoints the following individual to serve as a member of the West Warwick Patuxent River Authority Board for the Town of West Warwick with a term to expire 6/30/21.
I'll move the resolution,
Second?
and I'll move the name of Michael Bedard. He's been on there, he does a great job on the authority. And I move his name to be reappointed.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Is Mike here tonight? Mr. Bedard?
No, I don't think so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Welcome aboard again.
Appointment for the West Warwick Planning Board. Resolved that the Town Council hereby appoints the following individual to serve as a member of the West Warwick Planning Board for the Town of West Warwick with a term to expire 7/2023.
I'll move the resolution.
Second?
Moved and
And
seconded.
I'll
Discussion.
move the name of Joe DiMartino. He's been on there for quite a while. If I'm not mistaken, he's the chairman for quite some time. Joe's very knowledgeable when it comes to planning, and he's a great asset to the board. Move his name.
He does a great job, and he runs a meeting fantastically.
Thank you, Al.
I'll second.
I got a second already. You want to third it?
I'll third it.
I'll fourth.
Any public comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Discussion action, clothing bin sponsored by Councilman Messier.
So we had a lengthy discussion. I know you weren't here last time,
I got to
Councilman
watch
Goslin.
and ironically, in Cleveland, they were having the same discussion on the 11 o'clock news, so it's kind of interesting.
So I've gotten some emails from some constituents. Nicole Knott from the Recycling and Waste DPW, not technically the DPW. She emailed me about a program called Waste Zero, which I think you guys might be interested in hearing about. It's a program where they'll pick up your goods, no cost to the town. You leave out these like pink bags maybe once a week. You can plan it to coincide with your recycling, and they'll pick them up. 95% of the things that are collected are reused or recycled. Because I believe so much of what goes into those bins ends up not going into our landfill. With the tipping fees going up, that could be an issue. My main concern, of course, is making sure that there's not a mess at all those bins. And I know Don came here tonight because he owns some of those bins, and I think we kind of lumped all those bins together last time when they're not all equal. Some of them clean up their bins, and some of them don't.
Just background to some of the councilmen that may not be aware. I had sat down after your last council meeting and just put a very rough draft together, didn't bother checking spelling or anything else. It was just for my own thoughts. I then, within a day or two, I believe, received email from Councilman Messer and D'Amico. So with them moving rapidly, I just sent that out to the council as is, just to point out some of the areas that I thought you were going to have to deal with. One of the areas that I know will probably be of concern, and I know particularly Angelo brought it up, is that in trying to enforce anything you do regarding the sloppiness, the stuff outside the bins, Angelo commented about the burden on property owners that we already have. Well, the more I thought about it, realistically, the only way you're going to be able to enforce this is if you make the property owner responsible.
Well, this is one thing that, you know, I thought about, and I actually called Don also because I unfortunately didn't get a chance to have a conversation with him, was the process of the bins. And he's actually here tonight. But one thing I noticed, the ones that I've been seeing that are overflowed and not taken care of, for instance, the one on 117, that's a vacant store, nobody's there, nobody's maintaining the property itself. So that becomes the dumping ground, and nobody's there to correct it. Now, the West Warwick High School, and Don, are those yours? The high school? The West Warwick High School, I know Don gives a percentage back to the school, and the school, if it does get overflowed or whatever, Don's right there, he gets the phone call. I know anytime that I know blue and pink is Don, usually, and so I would be able to call him and say, hey, Don, you got a problem on this one, and he would have it addressed immediately. And usually it's not even his, and that's why I was.
It's the yellow ones.
It's the yellow ones are the consistently, yeah.
Big time.
Before Don gets into it, I just wanted the council to realize that what I submitted to you were just, as I was just throwing out, just throwing out problems that are for you people.
No, I appreciate
to try
that.
and resolve.
But again, when I got back, I took a look at a few of them. One of the questions I asked Don outside is about somewhere between 25 and 30 bins throughout West Warwick. And with that being said, I think we need to do an assessment of where those bins are, who's responsible for maintaining them. Now, I know, like I said, I can call Don any given day and say, hey, your bin is overflowing. I think he picks it up weekly, twice a week. So, but again, if it's the yellow ones, we need to get with that company and sit down and discuss it with them and say, hey, you need to stop picking up your stuff while your bins aren't.
Well, and I think the thing is, business owner, if somebody, I mean, I don't know how you do it, I don't know how this happens, I'm assuming you maybe come to a business and go, can we put this bin here? Is there a contract between the business?
Well,
Cash, can you state your name and address for the record?
Don Mariani, 244 George Waterman Road, Johnston, Rhode Island.
Thank you.
I'm the owner of Recycling Associates. We have the pink bins, the blue bins, and the Miami Duff and green bins, which are at Rocks Market. We collect our bins twice a week in West Warwick. You were right when mentioning that the yellow bins is the problem. Number one, they're based out of Milford, Mass. They only want to, I used to work for them, so I know that. I know the procedure. They only want to go to the bins when they're full because their drivers work on straight commission. They don't want to go to an empty bin or a bin that's only has 100 pounds in it. So they'll only send their guys out once, maybe 3 weeks. That's when things pile up. I mean, you can collect a bin on a Monday, and by Tuesday, somebody comes by and just throws a bunch of trash outside the bin. And then it's gonna stay there for 3 weeks if it's Planet Aid's bin. My bin, like you said, if anybody calls me, everybody knows me. I live in Johnston. The truck will be out there within a few hours. One thing you mentioned, I think, you said where a lot all of the products, 90% of the products that get donated into the bin get sold, as the clothes do, the shoes, even if it's household items, computers, we sell everything. If it's damaged, broken glass or something like that, then it goes into the dumpster. But we sell everything. So 95% of whatever goes into that bin gets sold, whatever it is.
It stays out of the landfill, number
Stays out
one,
of the
and
landfill.
it saves us money from, like, as I said,
Well,
with the
West
tipping
Warwick
fees.
gets a rebate from I have to give them a poundage report every year, as is every other town in Rhode Island. And you guys get a rebate from the Rhode Island Resource Recovery. And I think last year, West Warwick, I can't be positive, somewhere around 790,000 pounds.
Yeah, so I have here 438 tons
400.
last year.
Yeah,
was diverted
well, yeah,
from
that's
landfill.
about, yeah.
800 pounds, 800,000 pounds.
800,000 pounds. So that, and the bins serve another purpose too, because as we sell everything and the clothes go overseas to places where they don't have any access to a Walmart or any clothing, since we've opened the business in 2006, we've sent about 17 children with life-threatening medical conditions between the Make-A-Wish Foundation and Wish Come True to Florida. Whatever their wish was, we sent them there. Along with the pink bins, where we affiliated ourselves with the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Foundation, where we gave them money as well, plus a slew of other things that I've all done in West Warwick. So they do serve another purpose. But you really have to stay on these people, because you have a bin company in town called, and it's on the 117, Legreese Avenue, that abandoned convenience store where Planet Aid sits, and there's another one called Books, Discover Books, something like that. They're out of business. They're in bankruptcy.
Don, let me ask you a question. When you contract with a property owner, you become a commercial tenant, correct? Is there a contract or a lease signed between your company?
The bins that I
and the
have in
property
West
owner?
Warwick right now, I don't have any contract. It's all verbal. It's all verbal.
Do you pay,
Now
do you pay the property owner anything to put the bin there?
Nothing in West Warwick, no.
Nothing.
Rox Market,
How about in
no.
other communities?
I have one bin that I pay the gas station owner,
Yep.
and that's it. Out
Right.
of 100.
But you have no written lease, no written contract?
Maybe with 10% of them.
All right, so
Because when
my-
we first started, we put these bins out, we didn't need a contract. Now
So-
you need a contract.
If the bin is overflowing with things that you're either collecting or things that you're not collecting, like mattresses,
Right.
the property owner would be responsible.
That's the way it is in certain towns, yes.
I mean, certain towns.
Coventry just instituted last year a policy where if,
Mr. DiFiore brought up the fact that bins theoretically aren't even legal in our town because we don't have anything to govern them. However, if we were going to address the issue of the trash, rubbish, or
Right.
mattresses, we could certainly go forward against the property owner regarding any other trash that would have, is that correct? So my question simply is this: if you don't have a contract with the property owner, the commercial property owner,
right.
how do you put your money-generating bin there?
Well, when it first started, like these bins in West Warwick have been there forever. We had salespeople that went out, knocked on the door, asked permission to place the bin on the property. We did, and that's the way it stood. Now, it's getting a little dicey because I've had 700 bins stolen from me.
I'm sorry?
700 bins have been stolen from me by Planet Aid. Okay, we're suing them in court. We're in court right now. Our first court date is Monday, the 25th.
That's the one you come down and talk to me about?
Yes, yep. They've stole 700 bins, and what they did is because I didn't have contracts
They
with
just paint
these
them
people-
yellow?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. First of all, Planet Aid is all over the world. They're worldwide. So they can steal 700 of my bins and put them out in Burbank, California, where they have bins. So I don't know, but
How
we're suing
much
them
per
all in
bin,
court.
Don? How much
They're
does a bin
they're
cost?
$1,000 for the bin and another $200 to label it. So they're worth about $1,200.
But the bottom line, how much money does a bin generate for you in a particular year in a particular town?
all depends with the, all depends, like a Rocks Market.
Right.
Or the West Warwick Civic Center.
Well, when Rocks Market put it up there originally, it was for charity. And I don't think anybody realized that there was a huge turnover in property, and then there was a money-making, not saying anything wrong with that, but we have a commercial enterprise.
Yep.
Your business, not paying or not having a lease with the property owner in town, and then unbeknownst to you, because when you do your pickups, or the other companies don't do their pickups, there's an accumulation of trash and rubbish. So we have to have an opportunity to address that, either with the tenant.
Fuck you, shut that stupid thing.
Must be Oneyville calling.
What were you watching before, Angelo? I need to know.
It just, I went to turn it on and this
The whole point is. we have to put
USA,
together-
America came on.
We have to put together an ordinance that reflects what the town needs to do to address these issues. But right now, I would think that we'd have to send notices, like we discussed before, but the property owner has to be put on notice that if they don't have an arrangement with
Right.
a business like Don's or any other business, that they're gonna be penalized, and take a look at Coventry's ordinance and see what they put in.
Well, I would recommend Coventry, Coventry's, I wouldn't go so much with Coventry's idea. They allow bins in areas where there's abandoned building.
We're not gonna allow
Okay.
bins, we want things cleaned up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Centerville Road, the one that, it's abandoned. That's a haven for somebody to come over and drop stuff. There's no cameras and nobody around. So there shouldn't be any bins in those type of properties.
I think that, I mean, there shouldn't be any bins where we don't have an inventory, where we don't know at any moment, like, all right, these are our 50, or I don't know how many bins are in West Warwick total. How many do you have in West Warwick?
7.
7. So, I mean, I don't know how
Do you
many.
think there's less than 30 total in West Warwick?
There's probably, I was thinking about it later, I think there's about 20.
20.
But we should,
Yeah.
we should absolutely have an inventory where these bins are, and let, yeah, I mean, I know that last time, Sal said he was gonna be, within the next few weeks, was gonna get us the, an
Well,
inventory.
we don't even need anybody from town. What we need to do is you just call Mr. Mariani and say, give us a list of
Well,
your
he
bins.
can give us his 7, but
And then you call Books, whatever. and
he
what's
said
the
2 of
other
them
one?
are out of business now, right?
No,
So
Books is. but the
Yeah,
other one's-
they're called Discover Books. They're white bins. They're in bankruptcy. And the weird part is, the bank owns the bins, and they gave letters to all the people who have bins in their parking lot. Nobody's touching the bin. Nobody can touch the bin. You can't take it, nothing. But people are still donating to it.
Wait, so we, as a town, because they're in bankruptcy, we can't say, get the bin out of here? I mean,
Well, one of the problems right now, David, you were here 2 weeks ago, every bid in this town is illegal. Because they are not accessory they're not accessory uses to property they're on. So one of the first things that the council would have to do is enable the bin to be located on a piece of property. Right now, and I just submitted it to Mark, his review, our ordinance for what is called an accessory use basically says that that use has to be customary with the business. Well, a bin is not customary to Rock's Market. So in theory, that bin is there illegally. So the first thing that the town has to do, and one of the recommendations I made in my notes to you, was to authorize these in the business districts. And we need to get rid of this necessity of the accessory use, because as Tim pointed out last week, unless you're a Salvation Army or a church that has a purely charitable bin, we don't have, there is no place in this town that a commercial bin is actually allowed.
May I ask what you mean by a charity bin?
It's not a charity. They still,
Charity,
get a percentage.
charity is simply, the church gets it, the church gives it away, there's no money.
Okay.
in church.
Your business,
I'm
your
just
business is
saying-
a little different.
And I don't even know whether those exist. I'm just saying that that type of a bin, according to our ordinance, would be okay.
All right, I just don't want to be confused, because there's bins out there that say St. Vincent de
Yeah,
Paul.
no.
They're not St. Vincent de
No,
Paul.
we were just,
You know?
I'm talking about a bin that was used by the church. I don't know whether it exists.
I don't know of
I
any.
don't know if it exists
No.
or not. I'm just saying that type would be authorized if if it exists.
Tim,
The bottom line is, if you're conducting a business and you're utilizing a commercial property and your bin is there, it's gonna be treated as a business. Now, you pick up every day, you don't have a problem with the trash and the things around it. It's becoming an eyesore problem for the people in West Warwick because some of these places. So if a bin, like you said, over on 117, if they're out of business and no one's gonna pick that up and people are dropping things off, then we're gonna go after the property owner.
Right.
But the normal reasonable definition of charitable is, used to be that, you know, they had the poor box in church, people would put things there, they'd find their way to someone else. Not to interfere with your ability to earn a living or make money,
Right.
but if you're gonna have a business entity on a commercial property, that's two business entities there that the town of West Warwick should be able to regulate and tax.
Would we fall under the guidelines as a red box or propane or anything like that?
No. You're conducting a business, you're earning a living, and the problem is that if that particular bin is not paying for the services to provide for that space or that area, then that's what happens over on 117. You have a problem because people are dropping trash when they should be dropping trash. So, I mean, you may not think it's fair, but right now, we've got a problem in
Right.
that if 20 out of the boxes, let's just say 75% of them, 15 are okay, but the other 5 aren't, people are driving by, because they're on main drags.
Yeah.
So people are seeing this, and it's a problem for the town.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And when a company like Planet Aid doesn't pick up, it makes it look bad for everybody. Okay? And they got everybody thrown out of Tiverton, Rhode Island, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and Sharon, Massachusetts, and Middletown, because of Planet Aid not picking up their boxes. So it gives everybody else a bad name, and it puts us in a bad
So
industry.
this has occurred already in other municipalities.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's nothing new for your
Oh, yeah,
your
no,
competitors.
no.
If I might make a suggestion to the council, I don't know.
Just speak into the mic.
Not whether Don will go along with this or not, but I think I've got some sense that the council would like to allow these with controls.
Well, and again, as Councilman Messier said earlier, it has its pros and its cons. Obviously, when you're in an abandoned building, nobody's watching it, and it becomes a slop house where they just throw everything there, is one thing. But when they're reducing tipping fees and properly maintained, it's a positive for everybody here, because that amount of tonnage is not getting thrown into a garbage bag and thrown into our trash system.
If Don
So-
is willing to, let me put some ideas together and let him look at it from his business perspective, only so I'm not presenting something to the council that is.
No, and that's why I reached out to him,
Yeah,
because
all right.
I met Don about 7, 8 years ago down at the West Warwick Babe Ruth field, and he was actually the former president, and having numerous conversations. I know what he does for the leagues. I know what he does for the town of West Warwick. I've always had a good relationship with Don. That's why I reached out to him and said, hey, you might want to check into this and give us some ideas. So I think that's a perfect opportunity.
My thought is that from what he has said, in the zoning ordinance, put a area where they are allowed, and then put, they are allowed under these conditions.
Yeah, I think first I would like if you could give us the list of your 7, so we can at least start from then, and then we can kind of continue the list of where they all are. And I think before anybody going forward, we should have something in there. Before anybody puts a bin, they should have to, whether it comes before the council or goes in front of somebody, so that way the town at least has a record of where they all are. We can't just in the future just drop them off and we go, wait, there's another bin here. The town, somebody here should know about where they are.
Well, like in Coventry, they have to give out a permit.
Yeah.
So you need a permit, and the permit actually goes right on
And this,
the bin. It's good for 1 year.
But if
But
if it's not going on town property, though, if it's going on John
Yeah, I mean,
Smith's
I have-
house
I
of
have Nick-
pancakes,
I
and
have Nick-
shouldn't they come before us for that permit?
but you have
I have a bin at Nikki's Lounge in Coventry.
Wait, but you have a permit for them in Coventry?
Yeah.
But not, no, West Warwick, you just drop them down.
You're getting back to Al's reference to the accessory use. So,
Right.
for example, Nikki's Lounge is a restaurant, bar, cafe, whatever you want to call it. Now, there's the accessory use of having a for-profit business regarding clothing put into a bin. So that changes things a little bit.
Right.
And to me, honestly, like, even if you didn't donate any money to charities, which is awesome, I don't care one way or the other. As long as the bins are clean, every business has a right to make money as long as I mean,
Well,
if-
it's, like I said before, I mean, if there's 6 box companies in town and one box company makes it bad for everybody else, maybe that one box company shouldn't be here. I mean, simple as that.
That'd be good for you, eh, Don?
Not that you.
I think
Nice thinking.
No
I
self-
have,
no
I have more bins,
self-interest.
I have more bins than
Right.
Planet 8 here
Right.
in West Warwick, because I'm from West Warwick.
all right.
We have to think moving forward, though, so I mean, it has to be
Well,
regulated.
and that's something Al can work on, the
This
other
is my
thing too.
number.
And there could be other companies coming in,
You could do
possibly,
permitting.
Salesman straight.
Yeah.
possibly coming in other than just his.
That's my cell number backwards, 954.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don, for coming.
Yeah, let's go. Gotta
Claims,
get out of here.
resolve the town council hereby approves or denies the following claims against the town. You want me to read each one, Dave?
No, I could just go through, we could probably vote on all of them at once. All of them have been authorized and approved by Freddie Gill, except for one, so,
Now, this pothole, I've been getting a lot of calls too. Is this from the water company or is this
which one?
the ones that have been going on New London, on Main?
Turnpike and Church Street, those are most of these.
Church Street was majority.
They were bad on Church Street.
Yeah.
Reoccurring.
They
Same
just,
holes reoccurring.
there's like 3 holes that
Right.
just keep popping up now.
Hopefully we'll be able to repave it.
And again, from the sounds of it, I doubt it. Again, so I would suggest, now the McCarthy one, which,
Aaron McCarthy.
what was this one for?
February 13th, 2018.
So how come they were all approved except for one is my question. My computer went dead, so I can't.
Never filled out a police report.
Oh.
So Mr. Gill's basically recommending,
So, he recommends to pass all but one.
right.
And some of these are over $700,
So, again, max of 300.
so that's all they're getting.
Correct.
All right. My computer went dead, so I have no
Any-
problem.
So we can make a motion to accept as,
Except all of the exceptions are in the.
well, you can accept them all as is on here, because it says deny on his.
That's fine. Just to accept the recommendations of Mr. Gill.
Yeah. So I would make a motion to accept the recommendations of Fred Gill.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Those that have been approved is Rock, Ketchum, Gibbons, Eddy, Maderis, Peng, Findley, and denied is McCarthy, not to exceed $300 of each one. Upcoming appointments, Sewer Use Tax Board of Review, Pension Board, West Warwick Public Library of Trustees, Board of Tenant Affairs, Patuxent River Authority, Planning Board, which has been filled, and Zoning Board of Review. Public comment, anything from the council?
Everybody have a nice 4th of July.
Motion to adjourn.
No, I got
Oh,
something.
sorry. I heard happy 4th of July from Angela, I think.
Anna Spodnik, Carpenter Court. Just a quick question, and it's basically to you. You don't have to answer it. I was given this on Sunday, and I was a little surprised, and I'm a little concerned because I'm a Ward 3 taxpayer, and Councilman Massier should be a little concerned about this too. It's a statement or a post that you put on. It says, I could be wrong, but I think I can call it. There will be excuses, and I think there was a meeting of the Ward 3 candidates and a deal. Again, I can be wrong.
My First Amendment.
Did you have a meeting?
No, I
And
never
cut
do
a
it
deal?
Wait.
Mrs.
I'm sorry,
Spotnik?
is that, did you say a Ward 3 candidates meeting?
Yeah,
What's that got to do with the town
I can tell you
government?
what I said.
it's what he said.
I said,
Oh,
I can tell you what I
don't-
said.
don't-
Okay.
Don't respond, don't respond.
I'm gonna respond.
Don't respond.
First Amendment. Thank you.
Okay. There was no meeting,
I
at
don't
least
know if there was. I said
that
think
I know
can
of.
I have no idea what this is about.
I think there was.
You think there was a meeting of
That's just
Ward
my
3?
opinion.
Who
Thank
are
you.
they?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. You really think I had a meeting with Ward 3 candidates? I don't even know who they are. Oh, good
see.
Lord, David.
We'll see if I'm
And you
right.
didn't invite me?
They didn't invite me.
Again, First Amendment.
Motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
What do we got, Tommy? I withdraw my motion.
I don't withdraw my second.
I'm Lori, still from the Civic Center, not Lori, resident. But I just wanted to remind you all that I hope that when you do take time to use Facebook, that I do hope that you all do share the I Love America Days, the carnival, the fireworks, which is a very, very good event for all our children, everyone in town. And there will also be vendors and a few studios throughout the town that will be coming doing demonstrations. So I hope that when you do all as councilmen and all public, decide to use your social media as a way to share it. It will be in the Times, it will be in the Reminder, and it's also in the Journal.
You mean the Coventry Times, it will be in?
The Kent County Times.
What is it?
The Kent County Times and the Reminder.
All right.
Yeah.
Just checking.
The Journal, Channel 10, 6, and 12 are all covering it too. So. John, can you do this thing?
Yep.
Whatever it is. To you.
Good afternoon, or good evening, gentlemen. A couple of short points. This property, Jason, that we were discussing with the dumping constantly, there's 3 tenants or 3 property owners in this area. One of them is a Mr. Messier that owns the old Baker's Bakery Supply, and Mr. Weinstein or Winterstein. Weissman, that's the ticket, and the town of West Warwick. So those 3 people. Now, I know that the bakery company building is for sale.
That's
And
sold.
It has sold. Okay, I don't know then who the new owner is, but there's got to be something done. I don't know if we could
That
put.
was always been a dumping ground.
Yeah, and it's getting worse by the day, and I drive by
Truckloads.
it all the time. I, go by there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then go by there again at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a big, full-size mattress dumped, and I mean, they didn't even go to try to hide it. They just dumped it right there in the roadway.
Put one of Don's bins there, then he can keep an eye on the area.
Yeah, and there's a bin in the middle of the road, one of those yellow ones on Esmond Street. So that was we got to do something. I don't know if we could put Jersey barriers up and put a cable across there with the owners of the property inside that have access to a key to get in and out of there. But these people, it's horrible. Every time you look, there's another pile of garbage.
It's all the time.
Sunday, I believe. Sunday there was dumped a bunch of rolls of red carpet. Somebody stripped all the red carpeting out of their house, rolled it all up, tied it up with the padding, and just dumped it in there. Freddie Gill was out there using our equipment, our men on our time, with a dump truck and a backhoe cleaning that out. He could fill up 2 more dump trucks that are out there now.
Cameras, Tom. That's my.
Cameras, but it's horrible. The rat issue, I mean, last year, there was another spot dumped out there, and I gave to the council photographs. I called and mentioned there were photo albums, there were telephone directory, handwritten directories, there was unopened mail. This was just garbage that someone probably cleaned out of someone's apartment that they left and dumped it there. I mean, there was evidence of where it came from.
Well, I mean, likely it came from that place, but I don't think it's like if somebody left an envelope with an address, it's.
No, there was a stack of mail, all the same address and same name on it. There was the address book with all handwritten photographs.
You could have tracked it down.
Someone could have tracked it, but they didn't bother.
What happened when you had looked into cameras last year over there, right? What was?
Well, I met with Dave Lombari, and he put a big presentation together for me, and I agreed with him. The price of the camera was $7,000, and but with that would have came enforcement, and enforcement could have meant fines to make up for that camera. We talked about that last year.
Exactly.
I'm still for that.
Can I ask you, just because I know from the bike path conversations, which come up many times with cameras, $7,000 is just for the setup, and then what would be the fee to maintain them afterwards?
I don't know. I mean,
Because there's a few
I
areas.
don't know. I mean, there's a few areas in town where I think
I
they
know,
would
I-
benefit from, and I
Maybe
think
something we need to revisit.
we could do some more research, maybe see if there's grants available. I don't know. At the time, we were talking that, and we were talking funding, and it was, we don't have any money, and that's what came up with it. So,
Thank you. My second point is the town solicitor contract. We have one person that's the solicitor for the town, and that's just Mr. Williamson. So he's the town solicitor, nobody else. This contract says that we're supposed to get monthly reports to the council. Are we getting monthly reports? Are we getting monthly billing? Why? It's under contract. That's another item that's bothersome. My third item is something that I have been after since February, and I have asked repeatedly. It was told, you people were sold a bag of goods on the Brawl for It All program, and it has nothing to do with the gentleman or the Brawl for It All or anything else. It has to do with alcohol being served and smoking, setting up a smoking area, strictly against all laws, ordinances, and contracts. And it was told to us that if you hold a Class P license, you can do anything you want. It supersedes any laws, ordinances, or contracts. I asked for that in writing so I could see it. Angelo asked for it, and what we continue to get is just what's required of a person who has a Class P license. They have to be tip certified, 2-drink minimum, no double shots, and there's a whole list of things. Nowhere on that licensing does it say that a Class P license supersedes any laws. So, nobody can produce that. I've asked Mr. Williamson, I've asked all of you. Nobody can produce it. It does not exist. There's no such thing with a Class P license that says you can supersede any laws, ordinances, or rules. And this is really the last time I'm going to broach this subject. But it just doesn't exist. You people were all sold a bag of bad goods when you voted on that program that night, being told that if you didn't approve it, you'd wind up in the same boat as Providence because they lost the case with Kevin Malonzi, when in fact they did not lose a case. They had a preliminary injunction. The case is still open. You're wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
I just want to make a quick follow-up on what you just had as far as the solicitor goes. We have one solicitor solely, not a firm, correct?
Say that again?
A sole solicitor, not a firm, according to the contract. Correct?
No, that's not correct.
Not correct?
Mr. DeFiore is a solicitor, Daniel Griffin's a solicitor, Mr. Dolan is a solicitor for labor matters, so there's more than just myself.
You as a solicitor, under your contract.
Yes.
Mr. DeFiore doesn't have a contract according to the town.
I don't know what Mr. DeFiore
He
has.
doesn't have it. You yourself, you have a contract with him.
Yes.
As a sole solicitor.
Yes.
Not your law firm.
No, my law.
That's how the contract says.
Well, John, since Williamson Law, Timothy A. Williamson, Esquire, doing business as Williamson Law, the name of my firm is Williamson Law. Since I'm the firm, the contract's with the firm.
Mr. Conlon said the opposite. It's the
Well,
firm or it's
Mr. Goslin has his point of reference, I have my own. But this is,
Who you work for?
this is,
You work for him, and then-
John, this is public comment, right?
Yes.
All right, so ask your questions. I just
did.
answered them.
Did you answer it for him or you answered? Who's answering for who?
Next question.
No, same question.
Yeah, Timothy Williamson, not law firm. All right, regardless. Okay, I want to go home, you guys want to go home. I just want to make a couple of points. First of all, if you have a law firm and you're paying a law firm, nobody knows it until it's not in the contract. I'm sure you all got copies of it. You make your own decision. I'm just here to do what I generally do. Put it on the record. What you guys do, God bless you. All right? in the case that we have going, all right, his assistant or his, whoever she is, Sarah, Tara Fontaine, is introduced into my case as an attorney representing the town. Does she represent you? You guys figure it out.
She sat up here once or twice.
The contract doesn't say that, okay? According to law, the contract's supposed to be what the contract says. There's no law firm in the contract. You guys can work that out. The other thing I want you to look at, we don't have to go over it for long. Mr. Williamson is very good at letting me give this to you because it became a exhibit. Okay? Look at the other part.
Thank you.
We're not gonna do a whole lot of reading here. You guys can enjoy it on your leisure time.
Deposition.
Okay, I'd like you to look at page 18.
Just,
Gentlemen, if I may, he's asking you questions about pending litigation. You're at your own peril if you answer his questions.
Listen,
what is this?
I'm showing something that's
That's
public
right,
record.
and I just advise my clients as a whole that should they respond to your
They should- I
questions,
don't want them to
they're at their
respond.
own peril.
I don't want them to respond.
That's
I'm not
good.
asking anybody a
Then
question.
we can move on.
I'm asking what is this? There you go.
Deposition and a motion to compel. Okay, if you go to exhibit A, all right, I want you to go to page 18.
I don't have a page 18.
Yes, you do.
Tops.
At the top.
Page numbers, yeah.
17, 21 of 24.
No, look at the top end, Joe.
Page 17.
Oh,
it
all
covers
right,
four
all right,
pages.
they're different squares.
Okay, go to the bottom of the page. It says page 17. You all on board?
Are you talking about the little squares that say page
Yeah.
18 or the
They're all
actual
separate
top?
pages.
Okay, but like you have page
This is
numbers
page-
here.
Page 18.
This is page 18, and this refers to page
Okay, so we're seeing these pages here.
72.
Like that says page
Which is right
18. This is page 518. This is what you want?
No, you want to go
To actual page 18. All right.
Actual page 18.
All right, I got you. All right.
Go to page 72,
Yep. Okay.
okay? Just start at line 8.
All right. So you're gonna go page 18. Go 3 more,
Oh, I see.
and then it's over here.
I'm going by
72.
the other numbers.
And the only
All right,
question
I
I have
see.
for you, gentlemen, so we can get out of here, because you're all going to have a nice discussion somewhere along the line, is that says that they entered into co-counsel, okay? The rest of it's a dog and pony show, but is the town paying for Mr. Williamson to represent Mr. Nunes? According to that statement, it is. I'll let you guys figure it out. Enjoy the reading.
Any other public comment?
Motion to adjourn.
I will second again.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Huh?
Good night.
I don't know, whoever seconded that, just put any name as long as we get the hell out of here.